Once upon a time, it was used as Ed Warren's art studio, but now it is a museum that contains artefacts so extreme in their nature that before you even get to enter the large wooden shed that houses the paranormal objects, you are instructed to douse yourself in holy water, something that is handed out to you by Tony Sperrer, the son-in-law of the Warrens. During their lives, with Ed dying in 2006 and Lorraine in 2019, the couple were devout Catholics who believed in the power of holy water, prayers, crosses, and of course, exorcisms. For this reason, holy water is thought of as a protection for those visiting the museum. The museum was established in 1952, around the time the couple also set up the New England Society of Paranormal Research, or NESPR for short. These are both now run by Tony and his wife Judy, Ed and Lorraine's daughter, and still welcome haunted artefacts from all over the world. As you walk through the door of the museum, your eyes will take a moment to adjust to the lighting, as it is done in shades of red and purple. The low lights are done like this so that people don't accidentally fall over any of the items inside, as nearly every inch of space is taken up with a haunted item. The first items you will come across are sinister masks and mannequins dressed in haunted attire. The masks represent the practice of tulpamancy, where the person creates a being separate from themselves. They are said to wear the mask so that they can take on the appearance of whatever the mask resembles. The mannequins, on the other hand, are dressed in the style of supernatural sightings in the area. The first is of Hannah Cranner, also known as the Witch of Monroe, whose spirit has been seen in the Gregory's Four Corners burial ground in Trumbull and is thought to be responsible for cars crashing near to this location. The other mannequin is dressed in a white gown and is said to represent the White Lady of Union Cemetery in Easton. The Warrens investigated this area and wrote about their findings in their book titled Graveyard: True Hauntings from an Old New England Cemetery. In 1980, an 11-year-old boy called David Glatzel was thought to be possessed by a demon. The young boy's toy dinosaur was seen levitating and announcing to the family, "You're all going to die." At the time, his older sister was dating a man called Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, and in a fit of desperation, Arnie asked the demon to take possession of his body and to leave the young boy alone. At first, things seemed calm, almost like the evil spirit possessing the boy had just disappeared. That is until the following year, when Arnie turned around and stabbed to death a man called Alan Bono. And Arnie's reasoning for murdering the man? He claimed he was possessed by a demon who forced him to commit the act. The Warrens spent time with Arnie and his family, and it was their opinion that demonic possession was a rationale theory. However, when all was said and done, the judge didn't care much for this idea, and Arnie was sentenced to 5 years in prison. To be honest, that seems like a very light sentence for a man who killed someone, but this trial and the possession are the basis for the movie The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The dinosaur toy that started the whole problem off now sits in an open container in the museum, surrounded by rosary beads and other protective measures. And while we are talking about the Conjuring franchise, who better to discuss next than Annabelle? In 1970, the doll was gifted to a nurse, but from the moment she brought the doll into her home, strange and terrifying events happened to her and her roommate, from pranks, the doll moving on its own, and to almost causing the death of a boyfriend of one of the young ladies. When the Warrens visited, they believed the doll was being manipulated by the spirit of an angry entity. After an exorcism was performed, the couple took Annabelle with them to stay at their museum. Nowadays, the doll can be found locked inside a case which reads, "Positively, do not open," that was made by Ed Warren. The only person to handle the doll is a man called Daniel Rivera, and he is also the senior lead investigator for NESPR. When doing so, Daniel takes a lot of special measures, including wearing gloves that have crosses on them, as well as saint medals in the fingertips. There is a special box that has been built by Daniel for Annabelle that is larger and easier to transport around for educational purposes. Even though no one is sure whether the doll is still possessed, the new box has crosses cut out on 3 sides, and the staining for the wood is infused with holy water and holy oil. Behind the felt inside the case, the Lord's Prayer and St. Michael's Prayer are written to also bless the case. Standing at around 3 feet tall, the original Annabelle doll is larger than you would expect, and keeping her company just across from her is a replica of the doll used in the Conjuring movies. As you can imagine, there are many items in the museum which are said to have been used for satanic purposes. Inside the hut, you will find a human skull, which is said to have been given to the Warrens and is adorned with features thought to be for a ritual of some kind. Sitting close by to the skull is a satanic idol that was discovered in some woods in Sandy Hook around 1991. The story goes that a man was out one day hunting when he came across the unusual item, but at that moment a man dressed in black tried to lure him away from the object. Filled with intrigue, the man informed Ed and together they went to collect the idol. But it seems that the item may have been cursed, as not long after returning with the piece, Lorraine fell ill and no doctors could understand what the problem was. In typical Ed fashion, Ed came to the conclusion that a nearby satanic cult high priestess, who may have been the original owner of the idol, had placed a curse on his family. Well, I'm not sure what fixed Lorraine up again, but needless to say, the curse didn't last. A very creepy item that resides inside the museum is called a shadow doll. The one here boasts bird feathers and a real human tooth. The dolls are made to cause harm. That is literally their entire purpose. You would take a picture of the doll, write the curse on the back of the photograph, and then you send it in the mail to whomever you are cursing. As soon as the person takes receipt of the picture, the curse will become part of their lives, even invading their dreams. The one inside the museum was discovered in an antique store and thought at the time to just be a regular creepy antique doll. I guess that teaches us that we should know a little bit about an item before purchasing it and taking it home. As you can see, the museum is packed to the rafters with haunted, demonic or cursed objects. Other items hidden inside this paranormal treasure chest is a conjuring mirror used to summon spirits and a haunted organ from the Phelps mansion that is said to play on its own. And then there are items which are truly sinister, from a child's tombstone that was once used as a satanic altar and an alleged vampire's coffin. The walls are littered with psychic photographs, demon masks, death curses, and other plastic props used to add creepiness to the setting, like that is even needed. There are even fragments from Eastern Airlines Flight 401 that crashed in 1972 on its way from New York to Miami. Rumour has it that several parts of the plane were repurposed after the crash, and on those planes, the spirit of the second officer, Dan Repo, is said to haunt. Due to the amount of paranormal artefacts held at the Warrens Occult Museum, it is thought to be one of the most haunted places in the world. Even to this day, the museum still takes in new items thought to be possessed, haunted or cursed, with a recent sword being donated inscribed with a demon-like creature on the hilt and thought to have been used in certain rituals. This truly is a fascinating place, but with all the zoning issues that they've had over the years, the museum can be difficult to visit. Hopefully, this video will give you an insight into what lies behind those doors. I hope you all had a lovely Halloween, whether that was watching a scary movie in the dark, celebrating with friends, or trick-or-treating. But here at Darkness Dissected, every day is Halloween. And so next week, be sure to join me for more spooky destinations from around the world. If you're interested in knowing more about the haunted locations investigated by the Warrens, click one of the links shown on the screen for one of my past episodes. As always, until next time, Dissectors, stay safe out there.